This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
Ragging culprit John David is sent behind bars for life by the Supreme Court. After 14 years comes the closure for Navarasu's family. The Enforcement Directorate lands at the Raj Nivas to meet the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. They were in for almost 20 minutes. Karunanidhi files 2 defamation cases against Jayalalitha, taking exception to remarks fearing violence on poll day and alleging non-payment to security personnel. The Madras High Court exempts Amma from appearing in person in the 1992 gift case. Charges haven't been framed yet as main revision is pending. The PSLV C-16 takes off successfully while a CAG report says most images taken by ISRO satellites were unused. An MDNK leader, Vaiko, is out to target the Sri Lankan president once again, demands Rajapaksa be tried for war crimes. Welcome to Headlines now on Ndtv-Hindu, where we bring you up to speed with all of the day's top happenings. I'm Evelyn Matthew, bringing you a quick look at the rest of the day's stories at 8 tonight. Sanjay Chandra is asked to step down as Unitech Wireless chairman as his bail plea along with 4 accused is rejected. A fresh controversy hits the Bhushans, this time over preferential land allotment by Mayawati. Shanti Bhushan's son is fighting a case against her. The 5-year-old whose kidnapping stunned the nation is alive and well and back home in Mumbai city. The cop in charge calls it a lucky escape. And BlackBerry's playbook is out, but will it pose a challenge to the Apple's iPad? The Union Territory of Puducherry today witnessed quite a lot of high-profile visits from the Enforcement Directorate. The public relations officer at the Raj Nivas sent out a couple of media persons at the spot into a frenzy when he said that the men who dropped in a flying visit at the building were not initially Enforcement Directorate officials. But after conflicting reports over the presence of the investigating officials this evening, it was confirmed by the personal secretary to the Lieutenant Governor that the officials did come for almost 20 minutes as part of the investigation process. This in relation to the probe around Lieutenant Governor Iqbal Singh's link with Hassan Ali Khan, and the day after the go-ahead by the Prime Minister's office was obtained. Earlier in the day, about 30 agitated persons took to the streets but were later arrested in front of the Raj Nivas. They were up in arms against Singh, demanding his resignation. They also sent telegrams to the President and the Prime Minister, asking them to take action against the official, promising to continue agitations till he is removed. Mr. Singh's name cropped up during questioning of a Bihar-based Congress leader in connection with recommendations for a passport to Hassan Ali Khan. Mr. Singh has admitted to having given such a recommendation but claimed he never knew him. And joining us live right now over the phone line from Puducherry is our reporter Ashmit Kumar. Ashmit, from the last time we spoke to you, what more developments have taken place at the Raj Nivas and at Puducherry as well?
Evelyn, I think at this hour we're looking at some very, very big developments. In fact, even as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm talking also to sources, multiple sources who at this point are giving us the information that the Lieutenant Governor being under quite a lot of pressure since multiple allegations are being charged at him, and with the private secretary confirming that the officials are here, we are getting reports from our sources that the Lieutenant Governor is under significant pressure to resign, and that we might see some developments to that effect maybe later this night or by early morning right now. So that's what our sources are telling us at this point. This obviously comes on the back of the visit by ED officials, which we saw only a couple of hours back, where the officials themselves confirmed, the private secretary to the Lieutenant Governor confirmed that we did have 3 members of the ED visit the Lieutenant Governor, and although they haven't spoken to us about, they haven't confirmed reports of interrogation or perhaps videographing, but the latest that we're getting, of course, at this point is that the Lieutenant Governor is under significant pressure at this point, and that people are calling, analysts are calling it, and that he is looking at a respectful, at a graceful exit at this point. So that's what he's looking at. That's what his options at this point appear to be limited. That's essentially what's coming in at this hour.
Right, Ashmit, you did get to speak to the personal secretary to the Lieutenant Governor himself. What more were these officials telling you?
Well, in fact, they came out with a very, very vague idea. For instance, if I can just jog your memory, a couple of hours back, we had the ED officials exiting from the rear of this mansion here. So that really was an indication of how hush-hush it has been since morning. And since 15 minutes after the exit, the PRO came out, and he, in fact, he informed us that there were no enforcement directorate personnel, and that there had been no interrogation had taken place. And only minutes later, we had the private secretary coming out and confirming that yes, there were indeed 3 members of the enforcement directorate who had visited, but that's where he exactly stopped. From that point onwards, he refused to comment and whether to confirm whether some interrogation had taken place or whether there was some form of interaction between the two bodies. He went on to only say that I was on the ground floor and I was unaware of developments elsewhere within the Bhavan. So that's essentially the sense coming in from the private secretary.
Right, thanks very much indeed, Ashmit, for joining us with your inputs there. Clearly time is ticking for Mr. Iqbal Singh, with more and more pressure mounting on him for that resignation as well. Moving on, in a remarkable judgment, after almost 14 years, the Supreme Court pronounced a life sentence for a man who ragged his college mate in the state and then killed him and cut up his body. The court has now ordered the culprit John David to surrender immediately or face arrest. David was earlier found guilty by a trial court and sentenced to life, but the Madras High Court had then overturned the ruling. The victim in this case, Navarasa, was the son of a former vice-chancellor of the Madras University. His disfigured remains were found by the outskirts of Chennai a day after he went missing. The verdict today came on an appeal by the government of Tamil Nadu. And NDTV's chief legal correspondent Arunachalam Vaidyanathan, who is following this development closely at the Supreme Court in Delhi, spoke to the counsel for the state of Tamil Nadu. Here's what he had to say about the verdict today.
Supreme Court today reversed the Madras High Court judgment and handed over life sentence to John David, who ragged and killed Navarsu, his classmate. Joining us today is Tamil Nadu Counsel, Mr. Dhananjayan. Dhananjayan, what happens now?
The Supreme Court today confirmed the conviction given by the trial court to the accused John David, and also reversed the order of the acquittal by the High Court.
So what happens now? He will be immediately arrested?
And also directed, the accused should be arrested immediately.
So he will be taken into custody by the
Tamil Nadu taken by the police.
So what is the main basically argument, and also is it basically ragging case?
In fact, because of ragging he was killed. John David was in the habit of ragging the juniors and extracting works from them. This deceased, that son of vice chancellor, refused to do his work. Then he was taken into his room and was murdered by John David because he refused to do his homeworks.
But today, what are the reasons given by the Supreme Court in reversing the Madras High Court judgment?
Mainly on the basis of the confession given by the accused. The head of the deceased was recovered, and also the blood stains were found in the suitcase in which the John David carried the torso of the Navarasa, the deceased.
Secondly, sir, this happened in November 1996, almost 14 years and 5 months. It's getting justice. Don't you think it's a justice delayed, particularly for the parents who had a high position at the time? He also has to wait for such a long time.
There are no comments.
Anyway, that was Mr. Dhananjayan who was saying that, of course, even after 14 years, there is light for justice. In New Delhi, Arunachalam Vaidyanathan for NDTV.
Moving on, the politics after polling day and up to the counting crescendo continues between the two Dravidian heavyweights in the state. This time, the Chief Minister has filed 2 defamation cases against his main opposition leader, J. Jayalalitha, at the Principal Sessions Court here in the city. In his petition, he says that Jayalalitha's statements had defamed him, as well as higher officials of the state government, not once but twice, once on the eve of polling day and the second time on polling day itself. Karunanidhi referred to Jayalalitha's remarks on union and state ministers conspiring violence within AIADMK strongholds on polling day, while in another petition, the DMK chief quoted that his arch-rival had accused him of denying daily wages to the CRPF personnel, thus drawing disrepute to him and higher officials.
The first one is about the giving the that is daily battered to the paramilitary forces, in which she has categorically stated that the amount given to the paramilitary forces is of no use, and this misuse statement has been given by her only to tarnish the image of the Honorable Chief Minister. For this also another case has been filed before the learned principal judge at Chennai today. Both the matters are pending before the concerned court.
Meanwhile, in the other matters with the judiciary for Amma, the Madras High Court today granted her an exemption from appearance with regard to the 1992 birthday gift case. The court observed that charges could not be framed against her on the 11th of May as the main revision petition in the case was pending. This comes as a big relief for Ms. Jayalalitha, as the CBI court had refused to discharge her on the 12th of April in the same case involving a receipt of 2 crore rupees worth demand drafts and checks from her party cadres on the occasion of her birthday. The CBI court asked her and 2 of her associates to appear before it on the 11th of May for framing charges. The main revision petition of Jayalalitha is posted next for the 29th of June.
Honorable Amma need not appear before the CBI court on 11/5/2011 and also till the pendency of the criminal revision petition before the Madras High Court. And the Honorable Justice K.N. Basha posted the matter to 29/6/2009 for the final disposal of the criminal revision filed by Honorable Amma. Honorable Amma has taken the plea that Section 11 of Prevention of Corruption Act is not at all attracted. It is only a customary gift made by the party cadres to their leader, not to the Chief Minister. These presentations nothing to do with discharge of official duty in the capacity of the Chief Minister.
In addition to all of that brewing against Amma, the AIADMK's General Secretary played Kavalan to actor Vijay today, strongly condemning the attack on the actor's house by unidentified men. She has alleged that the vandalizing act came in the wake of Vijay's fans working for the AIADMK's victory for the assembly elections this summer. Ms. Jayalalitha also charged that there was a total breakdown of law and order in the state, with murders of 7 people reported in the last 15 days in Madurai alone. Worried over the violence going unchecked, she urged the Election Commission to take into cognizance the deteriorating law and order situation in the state. Meanwhile, the man left out of the rat race to the polls, the MDMK's Waiko, has decided to lead an agitation against the Sri Lankan president's open threat to the United Nations report on genocide in the island nation. The recently leaked report indicted the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime for war crimes. In a statement released by the General Secretary of the MDMK today, he said he would make these demands when he takes to the streets next week. Tamil Nationalist Movement leader P. Nedumaran has also promised to join in support as well. You're watching headlines now on Ndtv-Hindu. Up ahead, it's a homecoming that a 5-year-old will never forget. Amchi Mumbai celebrates along with the virtual world.